City? Don't know how they got the cheek to call it a city. All I can think of is roundabouts and mud and more roundabouts. And row after row of houses that look like they're going to fall down any minute. I mean, what's all that about, eh? As far as I'm concerned, they took miles of lovely green landscape and they ruined it. Just like in that song, they paved paradise and all that stuff. Now, I'm happy where I am in a proper city.
I remember the first day we moved here. We were living in a dingy one-bedroom flat in Streatham with a baby on the way, with no money coming in and the rent man knocking on the door. Then we heard about this place. My husband was offered a job as a milkman and we got offered a brand new house. I mean, how brilliant's that? We thought we'd won the pools.
All we ever heard about on the telly and in the papers was Milton Keynes this and Milton Keynes that. I mean, Gordon Bennett, do they think we're stupid? Just think they dug up all the fields that real cows grazed on and put up them stupid concrete cows. I mean, can you believe it? What's the sense in that?
People used to laugh when we told them we were living in Milton Keynes. Don't you get dizzy with all them roundabouts, they used to say. Or don't you have to buy new wellies for the kids every week? The mud was dreadful. The building work was unbelievable. Everywhere you looked, they were moving mud from A to B, and it was all over the roads and the pavements. The kids' shoes and boots were always caked in it.
It was like the gold rush back in the 70s. Loads of my mates worked in construction and they all ended up in Milton Keynes. God, they were making it hand over fist. They had to put the roads and the sewers and all that stuff in first. It took ages. An army of blokes up to their knees in mud all the time. It was like a Klondike. They were all at it.
The first estates they built were a good few years before the shopping centre was opened. There was, what was there? Tinker's Bridge, Netherfield, Beanhill, Coffee Hall. Places like that anyway. Weird houses as well. We'd never seen anything like it. All you needed was a job or an offer of a job and then you qualified for a house. When we moved into our house, it was brand new, lovely. New kitchen, bathroom, living room, somewhere for the kids to play. It was like a palace. I was so proud. It was certainly better than the dump we were living in. My man could even park his car outside the house. It's like a dream. Of course, nobody knew each other then, so we had to make friends. And we did. There was community centres and pubs and clubs and local shops as well. Nurseries and schools nearby. You didn't even have to cross the roads because they had things like redways, and you can get anywhere on a redway.
I'd love to know how much concrete they used in that place. I mean, really, they must have kept the concrete companies going for years. Everything's made of concrete. The roads, offices, houses, bridges, schools, everything. It's ridiculous.
I was gobsmacked when I first heard about the dial-a-bus scheme. It would take you wherever you wanted to go, say to Sainsbury's in Bletchley or Bishop's in Stony Stratford. You just rang the number on one of their phones and there they were. Picked you up from wherever you were and took you there. At first they went wherever you wanted, just like a taxi. Then it took ages to get you to your destination because the bus kept detouring to pick everyone else up. And eventually they had to stick to basic routes, but it was good while it lasted.
Used to make me laugh. All that money they spent building that concrete jungle, and where we live they couldn't even afford to fix the roofs or clean the streets around here. That's where all the money went. What's wrong with building new houses around here? You want shops and schools? We got shops and schools and buses.
The first thing people begin to notice about Milton Keynes, even in the 70s, was how much greenery and open space there was. The kids could even play without worrying about traffic. Funny thing is that you won't see a lot of concrete either, apart from the cows, of course. I remember back in the old days when we first arrived, there were no trees or bushes, just saplings. And people used to say, you have to wait until it all grows, give it time. And we all thought, well, how much time have we got? I don't know how many trees they planted in Milton Keynes, but it's millions, literally. Everything they did had to be bigger and better than everywhere else.
What I don't like is this idea that you can build a new town or a city from scratch and pretend that everything's going to be perfect. There's just no history or culture in a concrete city. Everything's new. That's why I like old towns. They've got a past. Old pubs, traditional shops, proper services and things what people want. I mean, look at the traditional English village with its duck pond and cricket green. That's what we need, not concrete jungles. These planners are living on a different planet.
Yeah, it's great where we live. We've got ponds and lakes and a cricket ground nearby. We've even got an old thatched roof pub not that far away. People don't realise that when they designed this place, they kept the old villages. The thing is, they didn't knock the villages down, which is good. Don't forget, we've got the Grand Union Canal running right through the city, and it's great to walk along the towpath to the pub on a Sunday. That's the best bit. Like I said, people are really shocked when they come to stay with us. They thought it was all concrete and roundabouts, but it's not. In the early days, there wasn't much in the way of entertainment, to be honest. We had local centres and a pub down the road. We never got to see bands and pubs or clubs like we used to. But, it got better, and eventually we had the bowl. It's called the National Bowl now, just to make the point. Then, of course, we've got the Open University. We've had lots of firsts in Milton Keynes over the years.
My job is mud. My job is mud. Yes, to take it from A to B. It's not easy. Policemen are after me. You see? The new city needs me, but they're all after me. You see? Mud on the roads.
We had a local TV station which gave ordinary people the chance to walk in and make their own video programmes for showing on the cable. You could say it was the first YouTube, really.
There's some more mud. Look at your tyres. There's your mud. It's not my mud. It's my job. The city needs me, I think. Tipper driver.
They used to feature news and local events, and also help people who'd just moved in with information. Young people as well. They had lots of bands on there too. I like the Moles. Channel 40 had this really cheeky bloke called Derek Williams. He did the weekly cookery spot for beginners. He did it from his own kitchen. Milton Keynes' first celebrity chef.
So we turn it on to cook it up. All it is just a margarine
He often burnt
and flour
things
put together,
because he was
and you
always
just cook it
larking
until
around. The sauces got too thick.
liquid
He was
form.
really good though. Today we see loads of cookery shows made in people's kitchens, but I'd never seen anything like that before.
Now with your fish, which is in the
I don't know, I suppose when push comes to a shove, we've got to build new places to live, but to be honest, I can't see how places like Milton Keynes are the answer. You just can't create a community. They've got to grow over time. It's one thing to plonk a load of people in a concrete jungle and say, get on with it, but after a while, they're just going to want to escape. I know people who went to that place and escaped after a few months. It's got no heart like a proper town or city.
It did take a few years for things to start to gel, I must admit. We all felt like we were pioneers in the Wild West, but eventually things fell into place. I think the opening of the shopping centre was what made it click. Suddenly we were living in a proper city, and of course, being Milton Keynes, it had to be the biggest shopping centre. 1/2 mile long it was, which was the first of its kind. We had a brand new rail station. The new bus station is there too, with the buzzy young people's art centre upstairs. Our youngest lad spends most of his time there. We need places like that. In fact, we never see him. It's easy to forget all the firsts we've had here. In the 80s, the Point opened. That was amazing. It was the first multi-screen cinema in the country. Everyone's got them now.
An hour from London. Remember all them ads on the telly we used to get telling us how wonderful Milton Keynes was? Every night you'd switch on and another ad would come on. If it wasn't the airline pilot or the kid in the car, it was the fisherman. They tried to kid us that you could walk out of your door and be fishing on a lake right away. Yeah, right. Takes me about 20 minutes to get to my favourite fishing spot, and I can't see it being any different in Milton Keynes. Funny how they don't run them ads now, innit? I guess they run out of money. Our money.
Well, they are all within easy reach of London. They are all close to wide open countryside. And they do all cost about 20% less than in other areas handy for London. But that's where the similarities end. Find out more about a home in Milton Keynes. Ring the operator and ask for free phone 3855.
I loved those TV ads. They were so good, and they were bang on the button as well. Funny thing is that the cynics suddenly realised that it might not be the concrete jungle they thought it was. The ads used to say something like, "Wouldn't it be nice if all places were like Milton Keynes?" I think people's attitudes changed after that. People realised that it might actually be an okay sort of place. And of course, everyone remembers the red balloons.
Wouldn't it be nice if all cities were like Milton Keynes?
Well, I don't care what they say. I'd rather live in a real place with real people. I know where my roots are.
I can honestly say that I'm glad we took the opportunity to come here when we did. I can't imagine what life would have been like if we didn't. Everyone who comes to see us and stay with us for the first time is amazed at how beautiful things are. What really bugs me is the people who still, after all these years, make sarcastic comments when you tell them that you live and work in Milton Keynes. Thankfully, they're few and far between these days, but there are a few narrow-minded idiots around. I often find that those who criticise it the most have either never been here or who've spent about 5 minutes here.
Have I what? Been where? Milton Keynes? Well, strictly speaking, no, but I've driven through it once, years ago, and that was enough. But I've never spent any time there, no. Okay, so I've never actually been there. Happy now? Makes no difference to me. I still don't like it.